afternoon to everybody. We are coordinating this session from Nepal. It's our pleasure to broadcast this session with Dr. RishiRam Koirala. The topic of this live session is the some missing feature of Ayurveda on conventional Ayurveda academic institution. Dr. RishiRam Koirala is a renowned Ayurveda consultant in Kathmandu, Nepal. He is currently working as a medical director in his own center, Ayurveda Health Hub, which is situated in Kathmandu and its branch in Pokhara. He did his graduation from a government Ayurvedic college, Geology University, Gwalior, India, and later pursued his post-graduation in Kaya Chikitsa in Banaras Hindu University, India. He did his post-graduation under Dr. Ram Harsh Singh on 1993. He is presently as the director of the Standing Committee of World Outstanding Medical Doctor Association. He has worked as the chairman of National Ayurveda Research and Training Center, Government of Nepal, Kirtipur, Nepal. He holds the deputy position in Nepal government institutions like the president of Ayurveda Doctor Association, secretary of Nepal Ayurveda Council, board member of Gorkha Ayurveda Company, which is the France joint venture. He has a long experience as a vice president of Nepal Health Research Council, which is a reputed research institute of Nepal. He has visited more than 25 countries and provided clinical services and shared his research activities. Now I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Koirala. During the session, you can note your doubts, suggestions on comment of Facebook Live. We are streaming this session on Facebook Live too. After the session, we will be discussing on those questions. We hope all the viewers of Nepal and India and even the viewers from other countries, the live session will be a fruitful one. So Dr. Rishi sir, please proceed with your slide.
Now, I like just to namaste to everybody. And this is in what language I should speak today morning, I was thinking, but naturally this listening from the different part or corner of the world. So I like to speak in English. So basically here I made the missing gaps in Ayurveda academia. I make a little bit shorter my title about the talk. When I say Ayurveda and academia, this has been a very, very important to look to the entire dimension of Ayurveda, which is missing into the academic institution. When I started as a very young student, 1974 to until now, there are a lot of things has been confused and not been taught properly, or neither been properly explored the classical view which was established into the Ayurvedic system. Just like in this principle and philosophy, because this is such a interesting that whole system. It is not a system of only healing or anything, but as a whole system, there is a lot of confusion to the students and even to the teachers that what to say about the evolution process. Either this evolution process, like we Ayurvedic scholars knows that Purusha, Prakriti, then events we explain as an event. And finally, we say Pancha Mahabhutas and Indriyas, that way we explain. But we never say this evolutionary process is a linear pattern, or it is a one-time event, or it is a continuous process. Right from the conception of the embryo and semen and developing as a fetal life, nothing stops into the body until we transfer our body. Means our physical entity, whenever it gets transformed, our consciousness entity is transformed, there is not a single moment of stopping anything. Then evolution as such is a continuous process, right from the consciousness to Prakriti. The Prakriti is an entity of expression. Within the Prakriti entity, the whole Tanmatras, whole Mahata, Ahankara, or Tanmatras, or Panchamahabhutas, or this whole process is every moment happening. Then what happens is that if this happening is there, then every physical entity to the consciousness entity are interplaying, are all the time playing. That is the one of the interesting philosophy, that every moment is in evolution process. If we understand that every moment evolution process, then what happens that when I was delivering a lecture, long series of lecture for 1 week in Japan, that time one professor asked me the question on the last day, Dr. Rishi, can you say in one sentence what is the difference between your system of medicine or your system and the Western biomedicine? What is the difference? Then I was telling to them that your system of biomedicine or Cartesian modality or Descartes modality always talks of the death. But in our say, we always talks about the transformation, because every molecule of the body, even the minutest molecules is also in a running phenomenon. That's why Ayurveda says Nityaga. This pattern of evolution, when we understand this one, then we can understand that Ayurvedic philosophy is a real philosophy. When I was a student, starting from the 1974 to until when I completed or until now, I have been a very big confusion that I go to the classroom, teachers talk about this, but never been understood that what does the difference between consciousness, Chetana, and the Prakriti, Purusha and the Prakriti, and the events of consequences. That's why that is one of the very much, and it has got a very much clinical application modality, because when a stress event happens into the body, or when the healing event happens into the body, when the distress happens into the body, how is the phenomenon into that? It ultimately relates to the all energy process. That's why sometimes this is a big questions to the Ayurvedic scholars entirely. We all know that Khadinatma Manokala Disasya Drabya Sangraha. When we say Drabya, we can say Panchamahabhuta, we can explain water is here, earth is here, air is here. We may say that way. Still Akasa may be a little bit mystery, but what is about the Atma? What is about the Mana? Why the Kala is there and why the Disa or the Dik is here? This has never been properly taught into the academia. Is the Atma, is the existing Drabya or not? Mana is Drabya or not? Kala is Drabya or not? Disa is Drabya or not? Of course, when there is a guna, when Etrasita karma guna, when there is a karma, there is a guna, we say Drabya. But here comes that Atma is what form? And there is a very interesting is that when there is a universal consciousness transformed into the time phenomenon as a time entity and Dika entity as a expression modality, then Atma becomes self-referral consciousness. Then when the Atma starts to manifest, then the event of manifestation gives the mana, which is not been properly taught into through the existing phenomenal academic or scientific world. When we say talk about this, there is a confusion, never been well explained, well demonstrated, or well given the application modality for the scholars of Ayurveda. That's what I feel. Many of the scholars may know may have ideas, but what exactly this phenomenon and the doses, there is a very much a big confusion. Doses are the objective expressions or a subjective expression, or is it a phenomenal process? In my feeling, my understanding, lot of time what we say, whatever sputum comes, then we say it is an objective expression. When the vata becomes excessive and irritability, we say subjective expression. And when this is that, when we see the minutely about the cellular mechanism, when you see the minutely cellular activities or mechanism, there are three phenomenal processes are there. One is the process of electric dimension, where electric mobility, electric neurological mobility, electrical process happens into the body, either right through the lot of what is called the electromagnetic field influence to the body. That is the Bata activity. That's why that is a phenomenal activity. And there is a transformation into the cellular activity where receptors, messenger receptors, or any entity through the food or neurohormonal entity, when it goes into the biochemical transformation, that is a pitta. When there is a cohesive unity in between, and it unites the entire process, that is the kapha. My dear friends, what happens that all the body's phenomenon is a bubbling entity. It is so much bubbling as a water bubbles happens into the body. If we look to the minutely through the microscope, electronic microscope, in a further subtle way, all the phenomena of the body as an working, as in what is called the expression as a bubbling entity. Sometimes this bubbling entity expresses as a objective, sometimes it expresses as a subjective. And Vata, Pitta, Kapha are the phenomenal process, not as an objective expression only, not as a subjective expression. They are phenomenal process. When you say phenomenal, means if the phenomenal of sound we express in a harmonious way, wholesome way, then it helps to maintain the health system of the body. If this expression of the any vibrational wave into the body as electromagnetic or anything, it becomes excess, erroneous, or less. It can cause the disharmony into the body. So this phenomenal expression is the dosas. Phenomenal expression, when it becomes as an expressive objective modality, then these modalities are the dushyas. And when this goes into the further modality, they are the malas. And when they go into the subtle, into the what is called the tanmatras level, these are subjective. And it goes into the mental level, is a subjective. Then it goes into the atmic level, this is a subjective. So interesting to understand into the phenomenal way, Vatic way, how it goes into the body, Pitta's way, how it transforms the cellular and nothing exists as a static element into the body, and the cohesive phenomenon. If we look through the Western modality of basic science, the extracellular matrix, or if we see the whole cellular feeding mechanism, there are only three feeding mechanisms into the cell as a single composite unit, which exists through the and all this. And Prakriti has been very much. I appreciate that many of the Ayurvedic doctors are talking about application of the Prakriti. And anybody we see, normally we like to say you are Vata dominant, you are Pitta dominant, you are Kapha dominant. We are missing the other Prakritis, which are called the Manasika Prakriti. We are missing those evaluation process right from the childhood as a or fetus life to the until now. We are missing to the desas, garbhajas, and our other Prakriti procedures, which is missing into the academic curriculum, or I'm not saying curriculum, but missing into the application modality. Because we can see nowadays what is happening into the global clinical field. A lady comes up to 32 years old, then she looks like she's a very much Vikrita state of the dosas, but she's quite fine, and she's having the big body, big structure of the body, and couple of questions we may ask to the mind, but we never see the how she is behaving about neurohormonal drugs or depression or food behavior. And we do not ask when you are 10 years old what is happening, when you are 20 years old what is happening, when you are puberty what is happening. This sort of linkages of application modality is missing. Then straightly what we are saying, you are Vata dominant, you are Pitta dominant, you are Kapha dominant, but we hardly see the Vikrita avasthas of the Prakriti. Prakriti as a basic nature, Prakriti and the Vikriti avastha. These are the missing academia. Into the and of the continuum is the disease, and there every moment is the possibility to return back into a health, every moment possibility of turning to the disorder or the disease. This has not been properly explained into the process of healing modality, because what is happening into the body is that either any sort of steps interventional steps like healing as a continuous process, interventional step of Sadbit Kriyakal, Sad Kriyakal, all those Kriyakalas, and the stepping to the interventional step to the patient, to the people, like, because if we till we wait until the development of the disease, which is happening to the clinical courses of we doctors of Ayurveda also, but our all the behind the process of interventional steps are missing into the academia, just like there are Sanchaya, Prakopa, Prashara, all these steps right from the people, right studying from the Prakriti to the people, Vikriti to the people, and Vikriti to the Dadi, all the either Samprapti process or those process which are disease wise combining into the process and explaining into the disease continuous process is missing into the academia. What I perceive into Ayurvedic perception, that is, of course there are all these explanation are given into the Ayurvedic text. Of course for the examination we got what is called, we have been asked to read about the papers about this, but there the relation between continuous healing process and a continuous interventional process are missing. I'm not talking every steps in that, I'm giving you as an example only. So there is a big chapter of Indriya Sthana which is missing, which is only taught to the student as an to pass the examination. My dear friends, what is the thing is that Indriya Sthana or Arista Vigyana is not only for Arista. Arista Vigyana is for diagnosis. Because if some patients, if we visit to the some patient, as if the Vaidyas goes to see the patient or the attendant of the patients, when they visit to the people, there are a lot of aura, lot of energy, lot of expression, lot of nature work. This has to be understood through the diagnosis of disease and the management of disease. Chaya, Pratichaya, Prabha, these are missing into the classics of academia. Academia never talks about the aura, never talks about the Kirlian therapy, never talks about the Ayurvedic, its basic characteristics of the diagnosis of the people or the patients. Here there is not a distinctive division between patients, and Atura is there, Chikitsak is there, but there is always been a playing game into the body phenomenon. Colors of the Panchamahabhuta colors, Shabda, attendant, sound, Shopna, this has been never been taught. That's why I do not want to explain all this, but I want to have a critical question with the audience friends, so some example like music therapies, sound, music, sabda, tanmatra, either any sort of subjective explanation. This has not been taught into the academic school. Singing bowl, vibration therapy never been taught. Because one of the major questions about this, that we were always talking about the samadosha, samadhatu, mala kriya. We talk about only this prasanna, atma, indriya, mana. Mana also we talk, but we never talk about prasanna atma. We never talk in our academia about the prasanna indriya. Prasanna indriya means what? Prasanna indriya, how it expressed. There is a recently published book about the three fruits of Nepal. There is a chapter given about the sensorial health, and it is an application of the sensorial health. Music therapies, how the senses, and goes to the, there is a very much descriptive explanation of the each indriyas, how they perceive, what are the vishaya, what are the arthas, and this all has not been told into the application, and never the therapeutic modalities has been taught. And another very interesting research being done about the people with the nature, people with living into the different type of climatic zone, different type of desas. This has been never been taught to the student. If it is a anupadesha, what? If it is a Bata dominating desha, what? This type of, and if it is a jangala, what? This has been, and neither the food through the Ayurvedic point of view, neither the diet, neither the special packages or recipes of the food has not been very well descriptive into the effect of the people. As I explain about the colors or Panchamahabhuta color, and we have never been talk about the Homa, about the Yajna, about the mantra, about the jap therapy. For my dear friends, in Poland, there is a huge, very big area of the land where they only treat the people with the Homa. They do all Homa, they do all Yajna. This type of different mantra therapy, different japa therapy, which are the basic innate character of the Ayurveda, never been taught. And about the medicinal plant also, the subtle energy, when the grahas, when nakshatras, this has been lost into the Ayurvedic field. What we have captured, there are certain biochemical assays, pharmacokinetic assays, but we miss that areas of the science which is not normally not in the academia. That's why what I say is that some example like bodily effect, dream effect, effect on the fetus life, sensorial effect and tactile perception, mental and emotional effect, soul and spiritual level effects. This has been either in terms of the urja as an energy, in terms of the body, in terms of the interacting. This has been missed into the science as such. Just like in the 90s, we're talking about the what is called the circadian rhythm through the Western point of view. We're talking about the kal as samaya or time. Now, after 30 years, we come to know that basic science of the Ayurveda have been taken, and the rhythm of this all has won the Nobel Prize. But there is not a group working together. There is not, the academias are only mixing the Western knowledge and the Eastern, but its own theme has been lost. I'm not saying Western basic science researches has not to come. Western science application has not to come. I'm not saying, but we are missing the entire linkages of the science. That's why, just like I just want to end up here. I like to listen the sound of the friends, and then I can answer the many questions as like my my service of um, my last 30 years. I have been traveling to many different countries, and I have been so many international responsibilities, and I have delivered so much lectures. Dear friends, I just want that new generation should be encouraged into these areas. One single area of each and every Ayurvedic view, if we put into the research, then research can be a different day. Other day I will talk where are we are missing the researches, and what research has not been properly back up to the Ayurvedic institution. I can give you other day, but today I like to listen the comments of the friends. Then I can just whatever knowledge I have got, whatever experience, I will like to reply on that. Okay, now you can start.
Thank you for the good session, sir. I had a question from Dr. Suman Khanal. Since the Ayurveda advocates on the use of Ayurveda of the same dosha, in the context of Nepal, is it relevant in the success of Chikisha? What are your experience about this?
Because when we say, can you little bit explain more?
Sir, he is trying to give the question that Ahara Aushadha on the same desha of Atura. So, in that context, how what is the success of Chikisa and what is your experience in Kathmandu?
The question is that the question is that definitely Ahara and Desas are related. Ahara and Kala is related. Just like let me give you the Ahara Sanskaras, which you can read in the text. But let me give you the example of a yogurt. Somebody like to have a yogurt. Yogurt also are the different modality. The source of the milk, process of the making the yogurt, and what temperature, how much quantity, what's the season, what time of the day, and what we mix, and what is the agni, what is the absorption, and how to take. This all explanation we miss. Then we simply write that do not take yogurt, but we never say if somebody comes to you to us that I have a very much good intention towards the yogurt, then we never say take this way. This explanation we never give as a whole, right from the resource of the product to the cellular level absorption. What can what can help the yogurt to be absorbed and reach to the cellular level? We never talk the entire area. That's why there is a missing linkages into the academia. Now you can go for that.
Sir, okay, sir. So next question, according to our comment, is that please share your experience on Daiva Bepavasre Chikisha. So please elaborate about it.
Deve Bepasre Chikitsa, let me give you a beautiful example of a book which is written by a scientist of Japan about the water molecule. There is a one book written in the 1976 by a German scholar who was a scientist into the water element. What they have seen, what the recent book published 1.5 years before by the Japanese scientist, that if you do the namaste and apply the mantras, apply the sound, apply the direction, and water molecule is different. If you hit to the water molecule, or if you put into the certain type of vessel, certain type of electric discharged into the molecule of the water, the structure is different. That's why if when you grew up in the mountain, in the hill, or even the Tarai, or even in India or some other part of the world, we normally take a glass of water. Normally we do not know anything, but if we do the namaste before drinking, or if we say good feelings about the water, then the element goes. There is a huge chapter of the water. I have seen that there is a huge articles being written down 1960s, 70s, 50s by the Bengali Ayurveda physicians and Raghubir Prasad Trivedi and others. And there is a one interesting book, Nepal and Nigantu. There is a more than 20 pages of article about the water. Now this much information is enough for the friends, that how the sound vibration were transformed to the water element, how the effect of the medicinal plants were given to the element, water element, and how effective is the water. You you will be wonder that if you collect all this information in one desk and read about that, or academia, if they focus. Now what they focus chlorinated water. But mind it, chlorine has been a cancer effect, which is already banned into the many other countries. But our public health school still talk about the chlorine. They never talk about the alkaline water. They never talk about the transfer system of the water of the mountain, rocky mountain, still water, running water, lake water, pond water. These all things are there. I think Daiva Bepasra Chikitsa was a transformation or transferring of energy into the element which is nearby to support to the people. I have seen one case in Banaras in the university when I was there. One of the doctor, surgeon from the Western medicine, we were talking about that. There was a yogi sitting nearby hospital who was treating Burger's disease cases by only two things. Any patient comes, he used to give white powder and the black powder, and he was treating, he's transferring his mantras or his energy into that. I can show you that the one institution in the California, about the institution of demonology, which was established 1965. You can go through that, and recently one book is published by one spiritual teacher. His name is Aravind from USA teacher, and this book is called Immortal Soul. And there are several such books. Many scholars of Ayurveda studied about this, and I request that how the quantum transfer of the quantum energy goes into the body or goes into the energy into the other medium. It's interesting. Thank you.
So till now, sir, we have finished our comments, and I would like to discuss with you.
Hmm.
The expert used to make an argument that the categorization of the Ayurveda faculties are based on the modern faculties, and the fundamental of Ayurveda, that is Ashtanga Ayurveda, the faculties has not been developed, and CCIM also is not advocating that. So, what is your thought in response to this issue, sir?
Especially what is happening that the global education system, right from any corner of the world, what is the syllable language, what is understandable language, what is the the basic courses into the academic knowledge or academia transformation is we can see into this modality. But you will be wonder that if we go to the any institution, either in Germany or in Switzerland or in Japan, there is a secret other departments which are not been known for the rest of the world. They are called the basic science depart, not as a department, science faculties or basic science which are working into the subtle level of the left level of the work into the institution. What I mean is that if you want to know about the vibration, about the energy transformation, we are very, very less knowledgeable. But either we turn to the textbook of the Spandana Chikitsa, Mantra Chikitsa, there is a rich literature over in our almari or in our library. And other part of the world, there is a secretly working all this knowledge behind the curtain in Europe, Japan, Australia, or America. And what they are doing, they work for 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, and they present their system and they innovate lot of instrument, equipment, and and parameters, and they put those parameters. Then we understand that this is our thing, our way. But what is missing into the Ayurvedic academia is that subtle theories of principle and applicable modalities has been missing into the academia. That's why what is happening is that we just brought up the Western modality of teaching into our Ayurvedic curriculum and all this. I will never mind to bring that one. But real soul, real content of the prana, which institution carry, which clinician or basics doctors of Ayurveda, which we are carrying, that is missing the linkages. That's why we do not have a integrated approach or working into those modalities. What is happening is that 1990s modality of research we are applying. We are not applying the Western modality of research, which is being done like into the, just like, let me give you an example. If somebody gets irsya, what happens into the pitta? If somebody gets irsya, what happens to the kapha people? If someone gets irsya in the kapha people, vata people, pitta people, what happens? There is a subtle sequential expression of all this into a subjective or objective expression. But those linkages are not being, those parameters have not been brought. That's why what I request to the either to the CCIM or any academia in Nepal to look in those areas, just like those Indriyajanya, Bega Dharaniya, all the neurological effect of all this, to teach properly and to explain properly, and do not miss to the Ashtanga Ayurveda. But so far departments making larger number of departments and focusing into the deeper level, I have not a difficulty. But still the life force of the Ayurveda is not really reaching to the academic institute. They are missing a lot. That is the concern of mine.
Sir, we had a next question from Dr. Prasad, and he's talking about the same question, that is Yukti Bepasray Chikisa and Daiva Bepasray Chikisa, and he is trying to uh, inquire about the Upavasa, that is fasting. So, is Upavasa fasting or Daiva Bepasray Chikisa or Yukti Bepasray Chikisa? He wants to clarify it, and he also try to make an application how the Upavasa can be applicable in the medical sciences, and then what's the research is going on.
So just to explain to you, Davya Bepasre, Yukti Bepasre, and Upabas relation. Just like, let me give you a very easy example. If somebody wants to do the meditation, Upabasha in the Ayurvedic terminology is that having a light food and restraining of all food. Maybe it is only the liquid, not even the liquid. And depending upon the days of fasting, hours of fasting, or intermittent fasting, this there are different patterns there. But for meditation, having a very light food, depending upon the prakriti. Ayurveda says about the prakriti. If it is a bata prakriti, what happens if we give no food? There is a there I have not to focus. But yukti bepasre chikitsa, or transferring of the energy, yukti bepasre chikitsa, or those type of transferring energy, meditation, energy work is basically a daiva bepasre chikitsa. But in other corner of the Upavasha, if we, our cellular level, which is now recently being done since 5 years, and there is a huge article being published about in Lancet that intermittent fasting being what is called there they have been told explain about intermittent fasting for many diseases or fasting cellular hunger and cancer. There has been a lot of research is being done. Uh, and there are a lot of metabolic diseases fasting. In those cases, we can say this is yukti bepasre. And there is a fasting effect, how the cellular plasma level of the herbs or the drug reaches into the body, how detoxification happens like in Panchakarma or Apatarpana Chikitsa, that happens. Langana Chikitsa, that happens. We can see. That's why this can be both way applied. And application of Upavasa as a physician of Ayurveda, there is a huge range of recommendation, contraindication, and there is a lot of use into the together with the medicine or other modalities of therapy we can see in Ayurveda. Thank you for this. The basic question is that fasting increases the Vata wave into the body. Fasting facilitate metabolic absorption or metabolic digestion, amadosha pachana, into the body. That's why there is a lot of linkages. Thank you.
Sir, one question has arose from the Indian student. So he is trying to inquire, how can we improve the practical application in Ayurveda?
We can, what is the basic thing is that I feel very joy when I was a student, when I visited in, basically I was in central India. I stayed with Raghubir Prasad Trivedi, Bedi Madhav Shastri, and many old physicians, because I'm also now getting old. That's why my time was different, because we know that how the Bedi Madhav Shastri was making the bhasmas, making the all the Ayurvedic Ausadhis medicines in those days with the mantra. But why I am referring this is that there are lot of therapeutic tool in Ayurveda. When I see to the different Ayurvedic institution in South India, especially some of my friends like Dr. Prasanna in his institution and lot of South India institution, they have taken up a lot of modality of therapies of Ayurveda. There has been a legendary lineage of understanding Ayurvedic application. When I come to Nepal, when I ask to the Raj Vaidyas, when I ask to my seniors over here, they are having such a simple remedy. Those remedies we need to put into the therapeutic tool. Here is the one is the major lacking to the Ayurvedic scholars around the world is that the tools of therapy. Tools of therapy means what diet, what are the other manovaighanik or psychological, what are the indriyas tool, what are the medicines, what are the vyayama, vyavahara, what are the ahara. This has not been well demonstrated. I think the scholars like you have to come forward, because if you want to ask me regarding certain disease, and what is the ahara, what is the bihara, what what other things as a energy transforming, what are the vibration, what are the nritya, what are the color, what are the other things. If you want to ask, there is a possibility, but there are many other scholars who knows better than me in India. But my only my thing that what I perceive, I what since so many years treating more than 122 countries people, very serious disease of the people around the world. What I perceive is that teaching simply for dreams can heal. Teaching simply for the Batik people, slow down is the healing. For Pitta people, moderation is healing. For Kapha people, stimulation is healing. Within that, there are so many model therapeutic tools or a mode or applications will come. Thank you.
We are on the session that the title of the session is some missing feature of Ayurveda on conventional Ayurveda academic institution. You can put the comment till 15 minutes relating to the subject. And the next question I would like to discuss with you, Dr. Rishi, is that the article, one of the article from Dr. Kishore Parvadan, he has laid out some fundamental suggestion on research-based academic of Ayurveda education. And as per his paper, the standalone institution is not able to cope the quality of research activities in our academic. And he also focused that the amendment of the half of research and academic institution can only propagate the quality of academic of Ayurveda. So what would you like to suggest?
That exactly in I was delivering a lecture in Shark New Millennia role of Ayurveda in new millennium goal of health. I was delivering this lecture in Islamabad. We were the scholars around Asian country, and there were observers from the many countries. I was putting that those views that what message we need to carry in the next millennium. That message is that like somebody is living in Kanyakumari, somebody living in Colombo, somebody living in Kailasa in close to Manasarovar, and like medicine, plant, anything right from the deepest part of the ocean to the highest peak of the hills or the mountain. Those time there were the rishis were doing the lot of Sambhasa Parishad. And when we meet recent conferences around the world, that becomes like a mela. We meet and we disperse, we not really focus. Then I asked to the entire Asian country, SARC country, or BIMSTEC, those time BIMSTEC was not representative in the traditional medicine, but there were the people. I was asking that we need to have a hub network right from Colombo to the Kanyakumari through the mountain of different parts. Because, I like just to give you the example that Indra's Rajdhani was Tribistapa. Tribistapa, when centuries or millennia passed away, it became Tibbata. You will be wonder. Man's highest civilization was the Kailasa. Means all those Dacha Prajapati, Indras are in the and the Bharadwajas are the transformation of knowledge in one stream, and another stream is the Banapastra, and another stream was the Indras and the ruling level, ruling dynasty, and those different stream of Ayurveda has been not been kept together. We definitely has got a Rasabhaidyas, but those Rasabhaidyas, those knowledge of the Rasabhaidyas transferring to the body and has not been kept into a one hub. That's why we are facing a problem of mercury toxicity or arsenic toxicity. All this, I'm sure in those days also we are talking about the mercury toxicity. We are talking about the arsenic. But if we look to the how they evolved, how they purified, and how they made assimilable to the body, we are not having one voice. That's why my suggestion is that it has to be a collective effort. It has to be work distribution, objectify the work to the different institution. At least Nepal and India and Sri Lanka, we can work on it and we can find so many differences because there is energy difference. Still the people of the Maharashtra, people of the Tamil Nadu will be fascinated to go to get the aspiration in the mountain, in the Kailasa or the mountain of the Himalayas, starting from Kumaon, Kashmir to east. They feel very well. And we feel so much welcome into the ocean. That's why there is a need of collective effort and this integration we require. Thank you for the Patavardhanji. You have got that idea. I do have some time. Maybe we will discuss about this, how to formulate into the practical. Thank you.
Sir, we are okay. Thank you for your answer, sir. So we are at the last hour moment. So lastly, the doctor, what we need to do to promote the Ayurveda academic in Nepal? Your two sentences will be concluding the session. Just two
Okay.
sentences. Yeah.
I think the only thing what we need to do in Ayurveda is that at least I have to say this message to my my colleagues in the academia is that my dear friends, you are very highly knowledgeable people. Please, this is your forum to transfer that knowledge to your disciple. You know that. And I request you that please do not miss this chance of transferring of your knowledge to your scholars because they are the future star of the Ayurvedic field or the humankind, mankind. If you miss, you will never get it back. And I request you, you are the lucky fellow. Do not miss to transfer your knowledge in all dimensions of Ayurveda to your students. This is I like to say.
Thank you very much, sir. So I had a question, and I think we have already running the out of the time. We may discuss in
Mm.
another session. So sorry for that. Thank you very much, Dr. Rishi. Here at this two in the session, would like to thank all the
Oh,
viewers and special thank to who raised the question. And your feedback will be very much important for the program for its continuation. Thank you very much to everybody. Stay safe. Take care.
thank you, dear Prerak, and thank you, Navinji, with his Ayusha Foundation. I thank you to Prashant over there and Sunil, my lovely boys, and thank you to all my friends around the world who listen this one. These are my view. Thank you very much.